Man, that was hard work just trying to get the stream. Flippin' heck. I swear nothing wants to work today. Right then, I'm just going to carry on doing jobs. You know, it's going to be a lazy evening for me. Oh, blimey. So, let's have a look what we got available. I don't even know where I am on the map. Where am I? Am I anywhere on the map? Actually, where are we? Let's go looking. Finally got my updates working as well, so the cars and bikes should be working. Okay, let's have a look what's at this place, shall we? So, go north or go south? I think we'll go south. Let's take that one. Not the best, but it'll do for now. Gives us somewhere to start, doesn't it?
I'll find a new one.
Before we go anywhere, I was going to check a setting.
Turn left.
Brakes. Wow, there's a bit of lag changing screens.
Ready to turn left. Turn left.
We've got 23 hours to do the job, 9 hours, and it's Monday.
Go straight on.
23:18, so it's coming up to midnight.
Keep right.
Keep an eye out for a rest stop. We'll have a rest. Shed some light. Let's see if we can even find a rest stop. Nothing on the map at the moment. Set the old cruise control on. I can see rest stops up ahead, so we'll try and grab one of those. Oh, blimey, that was close. Watch the trailer. Is it going to let me stop here is the question. It will if I slam it right the way over. Get a bit of rest. Eight hours 12. Oh, we've got some damage to the trailer. I need to repair that as well. Next time we get to a city, I'll have to stop off at a repair center. Doesn't like staying outside view, does it? Hoping we'll hear some new engine sounds from the vehicles driving by as well. Trying to see whether I can get all these updates working at the same time. So don't forget, chat is open. More than welcome to say hello. My mic's working for a change. I've got no background noise. Bit of peace and quiet for moi. I've got another garage that's half full. Got another 2 trucks to get. That's going to be 200,000. And then once that's done, I'll have a look at changing. What is that? Not hearing any sounds from the vehicles though, so I may need to change the priority for the sound mods. Speeding offense.
Keep right, and then exit right. Exit right. Get ready to turn left. Turn left.
Come on, mister, where are you going? Putting your foot down right now would be really nice. Oh, great. Another stop. No brakes! God, that was close. Either way is going to be stuck behind him, so I might as well just take my time. Zenith.
Go straight on.
Empty limit around here. Gotta watch that. Let's turn it down a little bit. Six hours remaining, 10 hours to get there in total. It's going to be full of tolls and I'm going to hate it. Hello there, Equalizer, how you doing? And Merry Christmas to you too. Hope you're all set. I'm kind of got the attitude, well, if I've missed anything, well, it's tough. Supra. I'll have one of them. All done and dusted. Good, good. Just kick back and relax now, yeah? At least that's the plan anyway. Kind of like this sports car mod. It's kind of cool. So I don't think I've got the sound pack for it working just yet, but we'll have a look see after. We'll drop this job off and we'll just check the loading profile. Police car sounds a bit more throaty than usual. Fuel stop coming up and I'm gonna need fuel, so I think I'll stop and get some. Blink. And we're off yet again. Feels like something's loose. I'm trying to fathom out where it is, or is it just this cable that I've got around there that's loose, which could be. Not on triple screens, I don't know. Never had motion sickness just on screens. In VR, I would. But then, you know, that's because you feel like you're placed directly in the car in the game. And, you know, the ground's going up and down and got, you know, Dirt Rally, you'd be all over the shop on that. And yeah, there'd be a number of times when I've had to take the headset off, and you tend to notice it as well. You'll start to get a little bit hot and sweaty, and next thing you know, you'll get that sick feeling. So if you stop early, you know, when you start to feel that hot and sweaty stage coming on, even though you may not actually be sweating, you just get that clammy feeling. And then the next stage after that is usually the, okay, I'm feeling queasy, if I play anymore I'm gonna fill up my guts, you know. But never had it on screens, no. Got a slightly different camera as well, lets me zoom out a little bit further, so it's kind of good to do exterior shots. Makes it a little bit different for viewing, especially on longer trips where most of the roads like this. If you're on a motorway of some form, it's nice just to be able to zoom out and have a wider view of everything. Oops, that's me drifting a bit. Good thing is, at least I can change the camera position. That was a bit tasty for a Volvo, didn't it? Still makes it a bit of a challenge to drive through here. But it does let you see a lot more of the detail of the scenery.
Keep right. Turn right.
Move.
Get ready to turn left. Turn left. Get ready to turn right.
Ooh, there's a repair centre there actually. We'll swing in yet.
Recomputing.
That was a last moment thing. Service. Fix her up, please. Only a small amount.
Turn right. Turn right.
It's only the sound mods for the Jazzy Cats. So there's a bike sound mod and there's a sports car sound mod. This truck has its own mod. So this is the Ford truck that's in the Steam Workshop. Comes with its own engine mod. At the moment, nothing much else is put on there because I'm not at a point where I can start implementing my own trucks and what have you. But that'll be coming up shortly because I'm getting to a point where money is starting to get better. I can concentrate now on buying trucks and trailers and what have you. Nah, I'm not going to bother with Christmas jobs. It's as fun as it might be, once you've done a couple of those events, to me it's completely and utterly boring because, you know, having a new paint on my truck, you know, a one-off paint, doesn't interest me whatsoever. I'm happy just delivering jobs. For me, it's about building my own company back up to where it was. Main goal of 100% map if I can, and then if I can fit in doing other jobs that'll do achievements for the game, then I'll look at doing those as well. You know what, the brakes on this thing's not very good. I'll have to see if I've got the T-Series cab mod downloaded, because I want to get my T-Series truck back. I do miss that truck. Really weird, all the tasty cars that have been on the road have been plain and boring sounding, and all the interesting sounding cars have been all the normal ones, like that VW. I don't think it's the audio mod is working properly for the cars. I did download a standard truck. What's the wording they use? Not my truck, the AI truck sound mod, but that doesn't seem to be working either. Not hearing it, so I'll have to, again, when we finish this, we'll have a quick look at the mods, just to make sure they're all switched on correctly, and sometimes they need to be in a particular order as well. Fuel should be good. We've got 2 hours 27 left on this job anyway, so it shouldn't be too much longer. I don't fathom how far this camera can go out there. That's the furthest it can go out. I can go all the way up. Quite a good view, I reckon. Weird though, any slight movement of the wheel and the whole truck just swerves really violently. Have you set it all up? Or is it still wrapped up ready for Christmas? No, no, no. Go round me, not under me. There you go. Well, have you contacted them? I'm guessing they're sending one out for you. If you've paid for it, they're not gonna forget that. They'll get it sorted. Just makes it awkward. Just means you'll have to do without the fourth monitor for a time being. It's not a necessity to have a fourth monitor. It's nice to have one if you're streaming, that's for sure.
Keep right.
I used to use an iPad for a while. Hopefully it's all looking nice and smooth. Colours look okay, I'm just checking it now.
Keep left.
Oh, 31 minutes, won't be too much longer now. We'll get this dropped off and then we'll check those sounds. I haven't even seen any bikes, so I'm wondering whether the bike mod is switched on properly. Supposed to be. Yeah, they'll get it out. I bet you they've been hammered for rigs because, you know, there's so many people using them and there's so many people, you know, who've upgraded. But they've probably had a shed load.
Exit right. At the roundabout, take the second exit. Exit now. At the roundabout, take the first
No, don't
exit.
slow down.
Exit now.
I hate it when they slow down that much. What is that?
Get ready to turn left.
Lamborghini of some form?
Turn left.
Damn it. We have to turn. Why is it you keep moving it? I mean, I've been lucky with mine because I'm limited with space. It just has to go in one spot because there is nowhere else to move it. It probably would be nice to have some wheels, so when it comes to cleaning or getting behind the rig to actually do some wiring, it would be nice. But other than that, I mean, since I've built it, it's been left in this one spot, on this right-hand side of the rig over here. I can't get to. Like crawling through, which is a royal pain to say the least. I think there's a nice Ferrari or something behind us. It looks like a Ferrari anyway. You can barely see it in the mirrors. Right behind there. Brake's not going to work that quickly. Oh, put the trail brake on. Whew. You could still buy the wheels as an extra though, couldn't you? Do they sell them separately? I'm sure they sell them, or you can pick up a set of wheels from somewhere. Yeah, I know what you mean, but the one worry I have about wheels on the monitor stand is it also makes it a bit easier to move. So all it takes is maybe somebody to lean or push, or, you know, when they're cleaning around, or perhaps they just, I don't know, standing too close then and they're bumping it. Next thing you know, the whole thing's shifted.
You have arrived at your destination.
I think once you've got it set in its place and you've finished doing your wiring work and what have you, I mean, I say wiring work, you should see the rat's nest that's down here. What's down there is a total mess. You don't want to see. But that's because I can't get in to actually do the wiring. I got to a stage where I was like, ah, bugger it, I'm not doing it. That's another job. Let's see what they're doing from here then. 82,000, 41 hours. Right down. Be a fair trek, wouldn't it? You know, I thought about doing those cable tidy boxes and what have you for power strips, but It's fine if you've got standard power plugs going in, but when you've got some weird R-shaped plug going in. My screens, they're set to... mine are really close. Mine are set to 63 degrees. It's all... No, see, now you've done it. You've asked about screens. Right, give me 2 seconds, guys. I'll get you a link. Where is that link is the question. Right. Read, if this will let me do it, I can't remember. Go to that website. And on there, and I would suggest you do this, and you need to have a nice tape measure. And what you want to do is decide on your main screen first. Decide on how far away you're going to situate that screen. There is a basic math process you can do to have the screen set at the ideal distance. But once you've got your base screen set, then you can work everything else out. So use that link, because I set my screens first, and then I went and used that link. Now, I was lucky because the distance between my eyes and my screen after I did the workings out was just about where it needs to be. I think it was out by about a couple of centimeters, nothing major. So I thought I'll leave it where it is and I'll work out the angles then based on my main screen. And I was close, but both screens were actually angled outwards too far by about 7 degrees, I think it was. So after I did the calculation, it told me to angle them in. So I went from about 50, I can't remember what it was now, something like 55, 56. And I've angled them now to 60, I think it's 63 or 64, I can't remember. I've got it written down somewhere for reference. So you'll need to get yourself the tools to make sure that all your angles are right as well. Because once you've got your bar angled correctly, your monitor then will mic straight on and will be at the right angle. Then it's just a matter of bringing them in so it hits the sides here. But that's a good, if you're willing to put in the time, I would suggest you do the little bit of math that's on there. And there's plenty of tools online to help you do that if you get stuck. Now I need to find a job. I mean, there is the Project Immersion website, which will give you a general setting, but it's not going to be accurate. But it's got to be pretty close. You know, it's not going to give you wacky kind of settings, so you could always use that if you wanted to. We'll go for a little drive. Find another... What do we got around here? What size screens are you using? 27s? Because then, you know, it'll be based on screen size and how far away that screen is from your eyes. So, you know, grab a tape measure, touch the screen, drag it towards your face, and then mark off how far away that is from you, and then go through the maths using 32s, yeah? Yeah, it's going to be worth your while doing that because it'll tell you the correct distance. It'll tell you whether you've got your screen set to the correct distance or if you're close or far off. And then it will, once you've done your workings out for that, then you can do the sides and it'll tell you what you should be setting your sides to. 55 sounds like it should be good, but yeah, with mine, because I'm using ultra wide and much wider, then the field of view for me, I get a full 180 degree field of view easy. Probably slightly over, to be honest. I'm going to try this one next. We'll go up to there, see if there's anything there. Now the camera's up higher, so it's firing down. Because remember, my head's here. But what you want to do is aim for the center of the screen. So your eyes, stop before I roll any forward, eyes should be for the center of the screen. Because otherwise, where, say, a line goes across the screen and onto the next screen, if you're viewing above, it may look like it's bending down. Or if you're down below, it may look like it's bending the other way. So you want to try and set your screens so they are dead center. Now if I sit bang upright, my eyes are higher. They're about there. But I usually slouch a little bit, you know, crouch my bum down a little bit, and therefore my eyes are center. This is how I sit in the chairs, you know. But that's what you want to do. Aim for the center of the screen for your setup, for your main screen, and then everything else will follow then when you do all the workings out. It won't work for every game, but it'll work for the majority.
At the roundabout, take the second exit.
See if we can get there in this view. Oh, you know what, Allen keys? You want to keep. I've bought a set of Allen keys. Where are they? I keep them up by the rig at all times. Where are they? They're in reach. Brakes. Go for industrial sized jobs. That's what you want. Because, trust me, one, you lose the other ones. These ones, they're a lifesaver when you need to torque something down really well, you know? Hopefully you've got a good set of Allen keys. Because the number of times when I first tried building the rig, I rounded off a couple of bolts using cheap Allen keys. Oh my god. I recommend getting some good Allen keys, man. As I say, they're always next to the rig because you can guarantee you'll want to tweak something, you want to move something, something won't be tightened down properly. You keep them in the slots, do you? Nah, I couldn't do that, they'll be rattling like hell on my rig. But there's something loose now. I haven't worked out where it is. It's from here somewhere. It wouldn't surprise me if it's the wheelbase needs tightening down because I haven't touched that in ages. But something's not fully tight because when this starts building up in power, it's vibrating somewhere. Like, I think it's probably just a loose bolt.
Turn left.
Right, where am I going? In here. Oh, yeah, crunching. What have they got here for me? Anything decent? That might be a good run. Back to Dover. Oh. Should we go over there into Bulgaria? It's a hell of a run though. 36 hours. Not that I'm short on time this evening. Yeah, let's do that one. It depends on what you've got to mount to. That's the problem with the tablets. I'll see if I can get one off you. I think this one's the easiest one. Change. Boop. I had to make a little bracket. But I think I bought these on Amazon. Probably sell them on eBay. But that's it. Little clamp that I can mount onto a bar that I've got here. So that's attached to the rig. That's the actual top of the rig for the wheel deck. And then that's an extra bar I've put on there, a short little bar, as I need it to be further up. If I mounted it onto there, I couldn't get the angle right. So I just put an extra piece on. Because I built my own rig and had all the extra pieces, and just made it a little bit more simpler for me. And then I can clamp that down then. But then probably, I think there is, oh, what was it? I think there was a mount made by somebody, but I can't remember if it was it for tablets? I've mounted that a bit low. I'll have to adjust that afterwards. Power. What do you want to do as well? I would suggest, if you're going to be running like multiple tablets and multiple USB devices, but you don't need a signal from a PC, so all you need is a power source, go on Amazon and buy those a 6-way USB power charger. They're about 20 quid, but it allows you to charge 6 USB devices at one time, and they're about 60 watts. I would recommend buying one of those, because that's what I've got down there as well, because I had all these plugged into the PC, even though they didn't need to be, but they were being charged from the PC. The USB slots are so sought after when you're running a big rig, because you're always going to be short on USBs. So the less you can plug into a PC, and the more you can just plug into a power directly for power, then, you know, that's what I would do. I mean, I was running 4 Anchor 4-way USB ports. I've gotten rid of 3 and gone to 1 10-way and 1 4-way, because I'm just running out of slots all the times. My 10-way is full bar 1, so it's running 9 USBs at the moment. My 4-way's maxed out, and my PC's nearly full of USBs as well. So it's crazy what I've got connected.
Get ready to turn right. Turn right.
I'd have to find the name for you. I don't know if you saw. Actually, I don't know if it gives you the name on the back of that thing, did it? Exor or something?
Go straight on.
X Show. EX Show, basically. And I think it's holds up to 9-inch tablet. And I think I purchased them on Amazon. And they got nice rubber ends to them, and they adjust in size. But I'm only using 8-inch tablets, which are perfectly fine to do what I need. And I think they were about, what, 12, 13 quid each?
Turn left.
You can get ones with gooseneck arms and what have you, but they just wobble and they're all over the shop. Doesn't matter what you do to try and stiffen them up. You can try and spiral them or what have you, but
Go straight on.
they're just a royal pain. These were probably the most sturdy.
Get ready to turn right.
And of course I couldn't go for anything too bulky, because it's where do you fit it and how do you mount it, you know?
Turn right.
But you don't have to splash out on tablets either. I mean, you know, these are... You could go for... I mean, a cheap way of doing it would go for some Fire HD tablets. That's assuming that you can hack them. If you don't want to hack, though, I would just go for a budget Android tablet. These were Huawei T3 8-inch tablets. There we are, $13.99. I knew they were around 13 quid.
At the roundabout, take the second exit.
Oh, don't go out,
Exit
you
now.
sneaky little... I'm in the wrong gear. The only problem is I don't know, I've never tried hacking a Fire tablet, so...
At the roundabout, take the third exit.
As long as you can hack it and the software will install, then that's a cheap way. But for me, I went into Curry's and had a look at the Fire tablets on display, and I gotta admit, the screen quality isn't that hot.
Exit now.
Now granted, when I looked, I was looking at the 7-inch model. I don't know whether it's improved on the 8-inch, because they do an 8-inch now, I believe. But when I was comparing these screens, they're not the high resolution, they're not stupid resolution like a 1080 or above. They're like 1200 by 800. And to be honest, for what I'm using them for, 1200 by 800 resolution is perfectly fine because it doesn't need high resolution screens. If you go for a high resolution screen and it costs you more money to do so, you're just paying through the nose for something you're not really taking advantage of. But you can pick these up. I've seen these as cheap as 80, 90 quid, but they average around 100, 110. But if you can get them on a sale, so January sales maybe, or Boxing Day sales, who knows, there might be something on. I would recommend the Huawei T3 8-inch. They do a 7-inch, but the 8-inch look perfect. And again, I've gone. They only do like 16 gig models, and I don't need 32 gig. There's 4 gig remaining, and it does everything I need. You know, I don't use them for anything else other than displays for sim dashboards, so they suit me fine. They may actually be a slightly bit overkill, but they do the job. I'm just worried that if you decide to go for the Fire tablets and you hack it, and one piece of software to use you can't use, it's going to be kind of annoying. If you can, what I would do is maybe a little bit of searching, see if somebody's used Sim Dashboard on a hack Fire tablet, and if they have, then go for it. If you're happy doing that, you know. Didn't check my sounds, did I? Damn it. How's that? RX-7. Right, I said I was going to do it. I'm going to do it now. Because do my nut in. Right, and where are we? Right, see, that's at the top where it should be. Hold on. Is the sports car sounds in there? Doesn't look like it is. Oh, could be the reason why. Did download it, didn't I? Oh my god. Gonna annoy me if I didn't. The sports car and traffic. That's the def. So that's for basic. That's for when you're using your standard stuff. That's your base pack. That's your Jazzy Cat pack. I don't think I downloaded the sound pack. It's not in there. Oh, that's annoying. I must have. That's the one thing I've missed. What I did. Or did I delete it from there by accident when I was sorting everything out? Well, that'll be why the sound isn't working then, because we haven't got the sound pack. Shit. Right, that'll be on my list. That'll be on my to-do list. Let's have one more look, make sure I'm not missing it. Yeah. Fault traffic. Cars. Well, as long as it gives you full access and you can install and it's not going to give you any errors, then fine. But I would just make sure, I would, if I were you, I would go in and have a look at the screen, make sure you're happy with the screen, because when I looked at the screen, I was like, nah, it's... The size was okay, but the contrast and the brightness and everything, I just wasn't happy with it. If I'm going to invest in a tablet, which I'm going to be looking at, I want it to look nice. I want it to read clear from a distance, because remember, it's not, you're not going to have the tablet, you know, like a book close to you in front of you. It may be recessed further away at arm's length. So you need the clarity off the screen at that kind of distance. And that's what I felt the Fire tablet was failing at that kind of distance. It just wasn't clear, especially when I've got a massive light above me shining down, lighting everything up. Right, so I know what the problem there is. The sound profile didn't go in. Oh, gutted. All right. I'm not going to download that now because I'll have to go hunting for it. I could have sworn I downloaded that. Come on. Don't crash now. Don't crash. Is it actually going? I can't even see my wheels in the way. Yeah, no, that's like the resolution of the screens. No, what I'm talking about is the brightness and contrast of the screens. I know the resolution is okay, but trust me, if you put a Fire tablet next to another one, like these will look clearer. I don't know what it is with the Fire tablet, whether they're just using a cheaper panel, but the brightness and contrast just didn't look as nice when I compared to another tablet side by side. You know, so this has the same kind of resolution as the 8, which you've got there, which is 1280 by 800. So it runs around that kind of resolution, maybe slightly less. I can't remember. But the blacks look black, whereas on the Fire tablet that I saw, it was kind of a grey. The whites didn't go particularly bright on the Fire tablet, where on here it's much brighter. I don't know. I mean, I tried playing with it in the store, but I'm not going to spend all day messing around with settings. You know, it's first impressions. You know, at the end of the day, if you're happy with them, go for it. You know, don't let me try and put you off. But what I'm saying is just double check and make sure you are happy with them. For me, when I looked at it, I talked myself out of it. Uh-oh. I think my game's crashed. My PC's crashed. I've got nothing. Yeah, man, looks like my game's crashed. I've got no mouse. Give me a mouse, please. I don't know if audio's coming through. What happens when you mess around with things? I'm trying to force close, but it's not force closing. Shit. There we are. It's one way of doing it, isn't it? By a test item. Why is it not force closing? Sometimes I really hate Windows and how it works. There we go. Finally. Finally close the window down. Right, and come on, I want to carry on and do this job. I'm glad to help. I mean, anyway, it's kind of good. I've been through part of it already, so you know, I've had to do the research myself. I've had to work out how am I going to mount this, how am I going to be, you know, running 1, 2, 3 tablets. I've thought about adding another one. You know, I've got so much real estate underneath the screens here. Maybe have another one up high in the corners. You know, you've got so many different options. Hello there, Chris. How you doing? Right. Finally, we can get back underway. And is Chris all set for Christmas?
Keep left.
Sorry about that little crash moment where the game wouldn't restart for me. You've got ATS and Steam and you can't update Steam. What's happening when you try to update Steam? No, the other option is you could always uninstall Steam and reinstall Steam if you think it's an error with Steam. Or what you could do is leave it updating overnight tonight and see whether it's finished by the morning. I would be tempted to go with that first, and then if it's still not done after a night of trying to updating, then I would then uninstall Steam and reinstall it. Just back up your saves, anything that's not saved to a cloud, just to be on the safe side. And I'm only telling you that because my backup failed and I lost my save for my game. Yeah, just go for an overnight update. Chances are, if it's just the Steam servers or your connection being weird. Yeah, that's true. Everyone's downloading. You know, Steam's going to be busy around this time. Ready for the holidays? I'm always ready for the holidays. I'm like on a permanent holiday at the moment. That's what happens when you're out of work. It's great. It's like permanent holiday. But yeah, ready as I'm ever going to be, because there's no way I'm going to get to a shop now and buy anything, so tomorrow happens, it is what it is. International play-by. Yeah, unfortunately, I just don't have the booze and women side of it. There's one, I don't drink, and two, well, there's no women around here. I'm liking this sports car mod, though. I just need that. There was a sound pack for it. I thought I downloaded it. I obviously haven't, so I'm gonna have to go get that. Lamborghini. There's another thing coming up alongside me now. I want to see what it is. Come on, come by. Oh man, he's not overtaking me. He's like hiding. There he goes. That's a Lotus. Cool. Aston Martin, isn't it? Oh god, he's braking. Jesus. Brake check me, boy. Oh, the brakes won't work and shit. Leave us the clutch. You know what? He hasn't asked for anything. This has been the most stressful time trying to buy stuff for Christmas ever. And what he has asked for is just like stocking full of stuff. It's like, really? I mean, part of the problem is he's got lots of stuff already. And most of the stuff that's out there he's already got, which is like... I've had to really think out of the box and think, right, okay, what can I do? What can I get? And talk about headache. Bring back when they're 5 years old and what have you. You can just go in there, buy anything on the shelf and they'll be happy with it. It's so much easier. We need some lights on, didn't you? Oh, that was on. Okay, that wasn't very bright. Oh dear. I think I need brighter lights. Some xenons, please. I'm keeping left. As for me, I'm still getting the itch to try and upgrade some stuff on the PC side of things. I'm still thinking about going for a 2080 Ti, but keep talking myself out of it. It's like, nah, I don't really need it. But yeah, but nah, but yeah. Thinking about upgrading the VR side of things, but again, I use VR so little in comparison to the triple screens. I'm thinking about maybe, you know, either keep what I've got or sell what I've got and invest the money into something else, you know. But it's a pain. I'd like to have better VR, but I just don't know how much I'd use it. Even if it was better, even if it was almost more monitor clarity, would I use it that much? I really don't know.
Keep left.
What do we got? We got 67 hours on this job with 32 hours remaining. So, what's the time? 21:29. We could take a rest, which we should be able to do here on the right. Let's follow the truck once this silly BMW gets out of the way. Would be. You know, gaming laptops are good, but this you're still not going to get full power out of the thing compared to a proper PC. And your upgrade path is a lot better as well. The lights are off? No. Nice and early in the morning. That gives us 58 hours. And we've got 32 hours for this one. We're going to be here for about an hour or so doing this one. The scenery out there is absolutely amazing. That's really well done. That's the wrong land. I can't see. Left for the heck. That wasn't right. Oof. Well, that was nearly in the wall. I wonder how far out I can go. That's as far out as I can go. I can't get enough round to have a look. I like this view now, where I can get to see more of the scenery as well. Have you done much driving in the new rig? What was that? 37 down to, well, down to 31 hours. Hopefully we can smash out some good driving hours. And what screens did he go for 32s? As if you're still there, Equalizer. Can you use a Logitech G29 with Euro Truckers and American Truck Simulator? Yes, you can. I've used to have a G29 myself once upon a time. And gallstones, yeah, that's really bad. Never had it myself, my mother have, and I remember when she had it and she was like doubled up in pain, couldn't move and God knows what, so I wouldn't want to wish that on anybody. Hope she gets well soon. Yep, you can use VR with this. I've used VR in both ATS and ETS. It is quite taxing on VR. It's not like something like Dirt Rally maybe in VR, which is easy to drive. This game hasn't been encoded greatly, shall we say, for VR. It works, but you do need a bit of grunt to get it to run nicely and play ball. So if you've got a really good PC, absolutely. If you've got maybe a mediocre, underpowered PC for VR, then you might struggle. She'd probably want them removed. If she's got it bad, she's probably better off removing them anyway. A lot of it these days used to do with ultrasonics or whatever they use, I can't remember. But yeah. It's... Gallstones doesn't sound like much, but yeah. I remember seeing the look and I was like, okay, that's... yeah, let's not go there. Yeah, you might be alright then with that. If you've got a VR headset. I mean, at the end of the day, if you've got a headset, give it a go. You can but try. The game is probably on sale at the moment. Pick it up. You know, even if you just play the demo. I'm not quite sure if the demo supports VR, but the base game should do. But you got to remember, if you've got to get the game, go into the beta mode and select the VR option. So you got HP monitors. What resolution did you get? Did you get FreeSync panels or? Come on, give me all the information. There's a bus next to me. Boop. He's massive. Yeah, Oculus Rift S. I mean, I've got the original Vive. I've used an Oculus Rift S as well, and with this game, so the extra resolution will help. But it does take a bit of work to get the game playing smoothly. I'll tell you that much. As I say, it does have a VR mode. It's still listed as a beta mode, or beta mode, whichever way you want to call it. What was I going to say? But it isn't like a properly encoded VR game. It's the coding isn't, shall we? Well, it doesn't seem to be worked on a lot. I wish they would do more on the VR side of it and see if they can improve the performance. It is a taxing game for VR. Come on, shift your dish. This is going to be tight. 3. Oh my god. Well, that's fine. I mean, at the end of the day, 60 Hz is going to do well. And what resolution? 1080 or 1440p? I mean, at the end of the day, I run triples. I can barely push 100 Hz on most games. And in this game, it'll be highs of 100, lows of 30, sometimes less in the really dense cities. So, you know, depending on the driving games you're doing, if it's going to be trucking all day long, then you don't really need fancy 100 Hz monitors, you know? Oh man, diversion, just what I needed. Like I needed more time added to this job. Really? I could have sneaked through, but I'm going to do it properly.
I'll find a new route.
The diversion's not too bad. It hasn't added too much time, so I'm not too bothered. Smooth gear change. 1080's alright. I mean, I'm running 1080s. Not granted 1080 ultra wide, but ah, 1440p is good. Are you running 1440p single or triple? Give a bit of room for the bus. Well, 1440p single is going to be good. If you decide to go 1440p triple, it's going to be taxing. I'm running 3 34-inch 1080p ultra wides, and as I say, it's some games, you know, and these are 144 hertz monitors. It's very rare I can push 100 hertz on triples in games. You know, most games like this now, on a highway like this, I can probably hit 90. Sometimes I'll see 110, but it's very rare. Oh, yeah. You've got to look at the pictures. It's so annoying when you're looking at monitors and you're thinking, all I want is a tidy monitor. And you think, yeah, I found a great panel. And then you look at the back of it and it's like, there's no support for VESA-mounting at all. All you get is this poxy little stand, and that's it. And you're thinking, what am I supposed to do with that? And, like, you know, of all the places to cut corners, you know, don't mould in or don't have a bracket for a VESA mount built into the monitor. You know, that standard has been around for how long, and yet monitor manufacturers still see fit to go, oh, no, tough luck. It's crazy. It's like those new BenQ monitors, you know, they give you a mounting solution, but you've got to buy the bracket from them to do it. It's another way of making money from you, forcing you to buy a bespoke piece that you can't buy anywhere else. Or you'd have to fabricate your own mount for, you know? And it's like, really? Me, I'm in the UK, in South Wales. Sovereign Direct. A nice truck. Right, we finally hit 28 hours now after that little detour. Ah, here goes. The coppers are going to get me now because I'm too busy doing stuff. Seriously? There's another 5 grand gone. Money's coming in though. I'm back up to 115,000. Got a good engine in this truck, hasn't he? Right, we're coming off on the next junction.
Keep right, and then exit right.
So what about any other games that anybody else has found on sale that might be worth looking at? I don't think there's been much that I've seen this sale. Fancy buying a new game, but to be honest, there's nothing else that really takes it. I've thought about getting maybe Need for Speed or something, but I don't know, it doesn't grab me, the new Need for Speed games. There's no VR games that I want to pick up. Kind of lackluster. I'm out of coffee, I need a cup of coffee. Shit. I'm swerving all over the shop because I'm trying to look where my coffee cup goes. Nice sound on that one.
Keep right, and then exit right. Exit right.
Fun for a bit. Dirt 2 was awesome. I'm waiting until we try Dirt 2. If you haven't, have you tried Dirt 2 in VR? Because Dirt 2 in VR is brilliant. Get ready for queasy, sickly stomach feeling. At least that's what I get. I suffer with it. I love playing the game, but oh, it sets me off. Yeah, you're like me. Do somewhere like Germany, it's fine. It's nice and flat most of it, so you'll be okay. But then go somewhere like Greece, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna barf. They do say keep at it, and the more you play it, the easier it'll become. I was saying earlier, I don't know if you were there then, but if you get like I notice it coming on, so you'll get like a hot and sweaty kind of feeling, and then when you've hit that and you've hit that for about 15, say 20 minutes, then you get the queasy feeling coming on after that. And to be honest, if you can stop when you get that first slight feeling of the hot sweats coming on, even though you're not actually sweating or anything, it's just that really weird feeling you get. You need to stop then, back off, give it an hour or so, and then try it again and build up your resistance, so to speak. At least that's what they say. Everything else I've been fine with, you know. Well, the other one that sets me off a bit is Doom VR, because you're having to jump and turn around so much, and you know, you're constantly swinging around trying to shoot the enemies from all different directions. That can set me off now and again. For the most part, it's alright, but it's usually, you know, 1.5 hours, 2 hours in, and it's like, okay, I need to give it a rest. we've got some new buildings being constructed. That looks kind of cool, actually.
Keep right, and then exit right. Exit right.
Come on, shift your dish. Lucky there was nothing coming up from behind, or they would have been smashed. Wonder if it'll let me. Boop. It's a slightly wider view while you're in that mode. Pointless doing that view. All brakes. I got such a wide field of view, I can't fit it on the camera. You know, if I put the camera back, all you see is the back of the chair. On top of my head, which isn't a great picture at the best of times.
Keep left.
Still down to 24 hours remaining on the job, 50 hours in total. Time in game is coming up to 3 PM. Set the cruise control back on. Shame there isn't an autopilot in this one and I can go off and get a cup of coffee. I might have to stop and get one because I'm gagging for a coffee. Dirt 2 is one of my favourite games, so yeah, I'll always go back to Dirt 2. It was a toss-up between doing Dirt 2 or this today, but I thought I'll carry on doing the Korea. Otherwise I was going to do Dirt 2 and do some more of Monte Carlo and do some practice in the Group Bs on the tarmac stages there. What, you mean the trucks themselves? He's relocated upstairs for Santa coming. Ho ho ho! Ooh, come on, squeeze through. Yeah, they're quite different, aren't they? Although you do get a couple, there are obviously a couple of designs over in the US where they do have the same kind of design. But again, everything over in the US is always so much bigger anyway. But whether it be your cars, your vans, your trucks, your rigs, whatever you want to call them, you know. your roads are bigger. So even though you will have people over here who will import some of the American trucks and drive them on the roads over here, one, it's rare you see them, and it's two, the roads in Europe in comparison are so much smaller, and some of the areas are so much tighter that it does make it more difficult to drive something like that around. A sleigh simulator. What surprised me is somebody's already done it. Yeah, I mean, you know, there's the Scania T, which is one of the trucks that I do like driving in this game. But again, it's not a massive truck over here. In comparison to the American trucks, it's probably small as well. But it's got a similar design where you've got the nose at the front of the truck sticking out, you know. Hello, George. No, it's not Pro Mods. This is all standard game because I'm starting again. I've got plenty of roads to cover. If I get back up to 80% of the game mapped, then I'll start looking at putting Pro Mods back on. Oh, we're not turning there. We're going here. Pro Mods, remember, only adds extra roads and the scenery for those roads. It doesn't change the base game itself. So unless you're traveling in, you know, those areas, you know, there are a few roads which it will change, but then you're not using the DLC from the main game most of the time. I don't even think... Has Pro Mods been updated now to work with the new DLC yet? I don't know. Oh yeah, the holes you do over there are massive. It's not a truck, it's a home on wheels, isn't it, at the end of the day? You know, we've got sleepers over here, but they're tiny, you know. It's like having an extra row of seats behind, that's it. Yeah, I'm sure you wouldn't want to, you know, you'd rather be the truck driver rather than the guy in the car, wouldn't you? You'd be like, yeah. Don't get that too often over here, but when you see a truck that seems to be, you know, drifting, it's one of those times where you think, right, I'm actually going to speed past this guy just to make sure I am through. Hope he doesn't sideswipe you as you do. Try a view. Oh, wrong one. I like that I can zoom all the way out like that now. Play with the camera a bit. I might be going a little bit too fast for this corner. I should be doing 80 and doing 90. Let's slow it down a little bit. And I'm hard keeping it lined up in these lines without drifting. Alright, drifted over the line. Speed limit went down, I didn't see it. Now it's going back up to 80. Hate that it does that. There's a lot of detail in the scenery around this area.
Go straight on.
We're in the wrong lane. Whoop. We didn't crash though. Yeah. I've no idea what that car is. What road section is this?
Go straight on.
You can't go that way. I broke up the scenery a little bit. We've still got 20 hours to go. What's the time? Coming up to 10:15 now. Many hours to go. I can see me being at least another hour doing this. I need cruise on. Link over. Now, at some point I'd like to probably upgrade my screens, but with TV technology moving on so much, you know, you can now get screens, granted they're expensive screens, so you can get OLED screens with 120Hz capability, FreeSync, even G-Sync I think it is, in some form. It would be nice if next year's release of TVs throughout the range, it becomes 120Hz as standard. And they do FreeSync support on TVs, because then it'd be like, it would be tempting to move over to maybe 32 or 40-inch TVs. Or on the other hand, go for a curved monitor projector. What am I on about? For a curved projector screen. setup, that would be interesting. But then I'd probably need to have a dedicated room for that, which I don't have. What are we doing? Ooh, I'm going to need fuel. Keep an eye on fuel. Fuel's getting low. I've only just noticed. Still got another 1,296 miles to cover, and I've got 343 litres. If I can do another 200 litres, so probably the next, if I can do 300 miles on this tank, then I'll stop for fuel, and then we should have enough to get to the destination then. We're not going to stop here. We're going to keep on going. Keep on trucking. Getting busy up ahead. Right, keep an eye out for cops. There's a speed limit's dropped and I'm speeding.
Go straight on.
Coming to 8, well, it's 7:30 in game, going to be 8 PM soon. We're going to think about stopping at about 9:30, 10 o'clock in game, get a rest and carry on. Currently got a total of 45 hours remaining, 19 hours ETA at the moment.
Go straight on.
We'll get there on time, I'll make sure of that. Does look like it's about to piss down with rain now, doesn't it? Getting dark and dingy out there. Ah, we gotta change lanes. Where's that van gone? Is he in my lane? Yes, he is. Crap. And he smacked into the side of him. Honk honk.
Keep right. Exit right.
playing Farming Simulator over there. Right then, it's getting to 8:30 in the game. We're going to look for a place to stop in a moment. So when the next one comes up, we'll take a little rest break. And there's one coming up on the map. Looks like there's a fuel stop with it. How much fuel we got left? 287, 1001. We'll probably fill up here as well because it saves stopping later on. When we'll just do a splash and dash towards the end probably, if we need it. Right, let's top that up. Not exactly the best of parking spots. Right then. If you guys can give me 1 minute, I'm going to get a cup of coffee and I shall be back in a moment. Right, coffee is in hand. Let's get the right screen going. 17 hours 57 remaining. 1,158 kilometers to drive. 35 hours to do the 17 hours in. And 1,000 litres of fuel on board. Yeah, I've tried them once upon a time. I didn't notice a huge difference, to be honest. One of the ones, what mod was it? It may have been updated since. I can't remember what it's called now. Was it Real Graphics something? I can't remember. But it did something weird with the sun. It started giving me weird pink skies that weren't supposed to be there. Maybe they were, but they didn't look very good, so I removed it. Most of the graphic enhancement mods I haven't been overly pleased with. I'm more than happy with how the game looks as it is. As far as I'm concerned, as long as you're maxing out, you know, put everything to high, I wouldn't bother with Ultra, because Ultra just taxes the PC more and doesn't make a huge difference. Put everything to high and, you know, have everything as crisp as you can get it. It looks perfectly fine, you know. I've yet to see a mod that makes me go, wow, that's something I've got to have, you know?
Get ready to turn left.
Because most of the ones that do say that they improve the graphics just tend to create more load on the PC itself. And, you know, if I was running a single screen monitor, I might be tempted to try more. But because I'm running triples and it's already very taxing as it is, I don't want to put more load on the PC either. I should get this put on the PC upstairs, because then I've got a 1440p single screen upstairs. I could look at it and max it out and play around with it, but just having the time to do that. I might have clouded it with my head when I got back in the rig. I've changed the camera view, if that's what you mean. Put it onto an ultra wide to give people an idea of the screens. I still can't fit all the screens on the camera. That's what I usually run. That mode. But zoomed in a little bit. And I'm not convinced my GoPro is running right, because sometimes it looks a bit blurry, and I think as the GoPro doesn't have a focus as such, it's got one of those preset focuses or focus points or focal length or whatever you want to call it. I can't remember the term. Chicken! Okay. Go. That'll do. Going for a right track on this one. No, we're making some time though. We're down to 16 now. Let's see if we can get that down to 10 before we know it. Oh, trouble. That's close.
Go straight on.
At 7 o'clock in the morning, we can probably do greens. Thing is, if I do that screenshot, which lets you see more, there's not a lot to look at, is there? Because you've got such a narrow strip going across. And again, you can't even see what's over this side of the screen, right there. Maybe I need to put the camera at an angle so it's firing that way. I don't know. I need to play around with positioning one day. Ultras, triple ultra screens are fun. They suit racing games more than they'll suit something like this. In this game, it's nice to have the vertical field of view as well.
Get ready to exit left. Exit left.
It gives you at least this gives you an idea of what I'm looking at. Because there's so much more that I can see. You know, just turn my head left and right and I can see everything. It's ridiculous. Trying to think what I'm running in game for field of view. I think it's 60 something, 60. Oh, I'd have to look at the settings again. I'm always going too fast. Yeah, basically. This one is just the gauges. So that'll tell me my speed, my revs, my air pressure, my oil temperatures and things like that. This one then tells me my job. So again, it's got some speed on there, but it's got your to, your from, time left, ETA for the job. Yeah, so you got to set it to multi-monitor 2 and then set your field of view in the config file.
And then exit right.
I'm in the wrong lane as well. And there's a car right next to me. Shit. Anchor's on. A couple of cars here. Let them go.
Exit right.
Come on, mister. You're dawdling. Or are you going to let me go? You'll let me go. Cheers. Play around with them. Because you're running 32s, you're going to have quite a bit of field of view because your monitors being so big will stretch over. So it wouldn't surprise me if 65 is about right. If you're running 27s, I would say you want to be around a 58 mark. But play around with it. I would probably try something like 58, 60. Just to make sure 65 is the right field of view for you, if you haven't done that already. I went through it at least 10 different tries just to make sure that I was running the right field of view for me. And this is the... I still feel like I'm sitting a little bit too close to the wheel, but I can't set it any narrower because otherwise I'll be sitting in the seat. And all I'd see is the back of the seat, so... One thing to remember though is when you're doing multi-monitor, you may find that the mirror in the game, in the cab on the right hand side doesn't work. Just come into a seat adjustment and change your angle here to anything below 60 usually, and the right hand mirror will work perfectly fine. That's only if you have a track where a mirror decides not to work. Nine times out of 10, adjust that and it'll work perfectly fine. Don't know why. That's just something I found that works for me.
Right. Exit right.
is it in that mode? Alright, then we'll go there. Please stop. Jesus. I was stamping on them then. It does. I don't know if you need a ceiling fan, that might be going a bit far, but a fan of some form at least. I've only got this tiny little thing next to me here. Oh Jesus, that's it, you turn out as well. I hate it when they do that.
Go straight on.
I want to hold the horn down, but that's what I've got for a horn. Honk honk. RX-7. I like it. That's another good view. Outside from the top of the track. I'm kind of lucky myself with the PC. It's not like the PC's actually in... How to describe it? I've got a cupboard that's right next to where the rig is, and the PC's in the cupboard. But when the PC's on, though, I leave the cupboard door open. Otherwise, the PC would just sit in there cooking itself. But with the door open, it's perfectly fine. But having it in the cupboard means it keeps it extremely quiet when all the fans are kicking in. And trust me, the fans will kick in when you're running triple screens, because it'll be constantly taxing the graphics card. So it helps keeping the noise down from the PC itself, which helps in a way keeping the room cool. But it still warms up, and it's a fair sized room. It's in the back of a living room at the end of the day, so not a small room by any means. Unless you're living in America, then yeah, it's a small room. Because you all do everything massive. Cruise control back on, down to 13 hours. Yeah, but your small room was still massive compared to what... Your small room's about the size of a house, isn't it? Over Europe would be anyway. The view on the front grille. What, on the truck?
Keep
I gotta admit, most of the views they've got, I'll cycle through the views now when we've got a straight road, sorry. Oh, I don't even know what I'm talking about these days.
Exit right.
I'm not gonna do it now because we've got to turn. And I've got a truck right up my chuff.
Turn right.
Oh man, don't talk square meters to me, I wouldn't have a clue. I've never sat down and worked out how many square meters my rooms are or my house is. No idea. I should do. But yeah, something I've never done. Oh, fingers. Again. Right, cameras. That's like bumper cam, innit? I don't get any issues with it. The problem is, because it's so low, it doesn't give you much to see with the view. That's like to the side. I best not play around too much, we're in the city area.
Left. Turn left.
What bugs out in your view then when you're on that bumper cam then? Let's go to that one a second.
Get ready to turn left.
Ooh, what's that car?
Turn left, and then continue straight on.
Mercedes AMG.
Go straight on.
A weather satellite in the top right. Hello, Jasper. Wait, hold on. I have to see what you were looking at. Are you talking about this thing? Oops, I'm not looking. Oh, you talking about here? Yeah, it's this triple screen background which has the sun on the left, moon on the right, and the earth in the middle. I'd show it to you, but the camera wouldn't capture it. Just a desktop wallpaper for triple screens. And that's one of the drawbacks using ultrawides for triple screens, because even simple things like having a desktop wallpaper that actually fits the full width of triple ultrawides, there are none that I can find. Triple screens, yes, but then that's for 16:9 format, not by 21:9 format. You know, I was thinking of putting the snow mod back on, but I thought, nah, because everyone else will probably end up doing it, and I've done it before, and it's alright, but it's... As soon as I put it on last time, I drove for a couple of weeks like that, and I was like, it gets tiresome after a while. Just causes the accidents.
Get ready to turn right.
And doing it in multiplayer is just stupid, because that just, yeah.
Turn right.
Don't know if you can do it in multiplayer anymore. I remember they used to do snow, didn't they? They had snow in multiplayer, but I don't know if they had the full on. Oh. Snowplow mod. Yes, bit of drifting, I remember doing that. Always a bit of fun. Right, Right, what are we on? 11 hours? Coming down to... Ooh, not bad. So we've got 11 hours remaining. Been a fair trek on this one.
Get ready to turn left. Turn left.
Ooh, we're turning left. Shit. Brake light, brake light. Ooh. So not paying attention then.
Keep right, and then exit right.
I haven't done any iRacing since when I tried it last. I did a 12-month subscription, and that finished.
Right.
There is an offer for a 3-month subscription for $5, so I actually might do that because that's due to
Go straight
end.
on.
Oh crap! That's due to end. Where's he going? Cut me right off. That offer's due to end in beginning of January, I think. What? Are you talking about Half-Life Alexa? Or whatever it's called? Or Alex. Yeah, I can't remember the name. Not Alexa, is it? Duh. Look out, she's going to speak now. Ouch. Don't know why I just said that. Isn't that out already? That Half-Life thing? Or are you talking about a full Half-Life game? Didn't know they were doing another one otherwise. I'm gonna miss a section here now if I'm not careful. Okay, we can go this way.
Okay, let's find a new route.
Oh, we need to be over there. Shit. I've done it again. I go the wrong way and I missed an inspection point over there. Yeah, I've still got the Vive. I just haven't used it. I need to try and get it set. The awkward thing is getting it set back up to use with games. And I was using it for American Truck Sim. Yeah, you're right, Equalizer. And that's one thing I really do hate about racing games. I just want to be able to get in, drive a car. It would be nice if they had, right, you know, here's a competitive setup on a car. Everybody has the same setup. Go at it, you know? Oh, you'd think it'd be a good time to dust it off, but unfortunately I've got loads of family to visit now over Christmas, and ugh. So if I do any more streams, I might stream tomorrow, but it won't be until late in the evening when I'll be home and it's all quiet. That's if it does remain quiet. It may not, so I may not be streaming at all tomorrow. Boxing Day then, the day after, may not be streaming. It's just running around visiting family and friends, and you know, don't get 2 minutes to yourself really. I thought Alex was out on it. Or is that still due to come out? Shows how much I know. Because I know if you buy, or if you've bought a index, or if you buy an index, you'll get a free copy of it. Yeah, 2 kilos of chocolates for everybody. That's the way to do it. Here, have chocolate. Throw it at them. Yeah, and I've been umming and ahhing because I've got the Viva now. The choices are I either sell the Vive as a whole, but if I do that, I probably wouldn't go to an index then. I'll probably go for a HP reverb. But there's so many stories about the HP reverb. Majority of good, but there are some bad ones with regards to the cabling and the cabling breaking and what have you. Kind of puts me off. Index isn't as clear, but it's probably more comfortable for long term and has obviously the better tracking overall. However, I prefer inside-out tracking. I think that's the way forward, but because I'd rather have a headset I can just put on and don't have to worry about setting up or making sure that the lighthouses are set and haven't been nudged. Has it had bad reviews? Yeah, well, I certainly wouldn't pay full price for it, because what are they after, like 40, 50 quid or something? And if it was like 20 quid, maybe. But if I'm thinking about buying an index, which I am about 50-50 at the moment, then I'll hold off, because if it comes free with an index, then I won't care then.
Keep right, and then exit right. Exit right.
Yeah, I'm sure there's been people who've been playing it. There should be YouTube videos at least. Yeah, I've seen people reviewing, well, not reviewing the game as such, but playing the game. But I've tried to steer away from looking at reviews because, to be honest, it's one of those games. I've played the Half-Life series, I've got the Half-Life games. If I do end up going to it, I'd rather go into it with my own thoughts, you know, rather than
at the roundabout, take
reading
the
and
exit.
viewing what everybody else has said. And this thing doesn't want to stop. Jesus. What speed was I going?
Exit now.
Hello, how you doing?
At the roundabout, take the second exit. Exit now.
Down to 8 hours 46. Getting there. We've got still got a shed load of fuel. We've got 568 kilometers to go. We've got 783 liters in the tank, so we've actually got loads of fuel. We've done really well on the fuel front. This truck's quite fuel efficient, I'm guessing. I want a new driving game, that's what I want. Wouldn't mind seeing ACC having better multiplayer, because I wouldn't mind getting into multiplayer on that, but multiplayer for ACC at the moment is a bit there. Race Room is supposed to be getting better multiplayer, which I shall need to look into. I did dabble with Race Room today, setting it back up because they've changed the force feedback on it, but I need to iron that out because it feels weird compared to how it felt last time. So the settings have changed, but I just need to work out what works for my wheel.
At the roundabout, take the second exit.
Ooh, that's a bit faster on the corner. It's leading quite a bit. Have you tried that Pavlov VR then? You've probably done that, haven't you? I had that when it first came out. It was a good game. I was crap at it though, but yeah. It was good laugh in VR. We've got to be heading through the Romania bits now, but I would feel. Come on, get around this.
Go straight on.
A game that I only got recently, Arizona Sunshine. I was quite impressed with that. You know, I know it's a simple zombie shooter, but I quite enjoyed it. I haven't finished it yet. Only got it recently. Kind of shied away for it for a while because I was like, you know, everybody's playing it. But, yeah. Quite surprised to see why they were enjoying it. And Super Hot VR as well. I picked that up recently as well. Yeah, I've got Mud Runner and Spin Tires. Luminard Games. Great fun though, and the ground physics, you know, the mud physics in it is awesome.
Go straight on.
Grid, I've got Grid. I think it's just too arcadey for me. I haven't got the new Grid, but even then I've been told that it's not a very big game. People have gone through it really quickly. And again, it is more arcadey more than anything else. I don't know, I might pick it up when it's on the very cheap. If it goes down to a 10, I just pick it up and have it as something to play on the 360 controller when I sit back and relax on a TV or something. It's like I used to like V-Rally when it was out on the PlayStation. Never been interested in the PC, the new PC version, but if I find it for like a tenner or less, I'll pick it up. Because again, it'll just be one of those games, because it's not, I don't think it'll support triples, it doesn't support the wheels properly. Or very well. I'll have to mod it just to get it to work maybe, so I'm not going to invest heavily in a game that doesn't support everything I've got out of the box, you know. Mind you, saying that, I ended up buying Ace Combat, and that doesn't support my flight sticks, doesn't support triple screens, doesn't even support one single ultra-wide properly, so... But then again, you live and learn. I didn't know that before I bought it. V-Rally was probably one of the games to have on the PlayStation. It was an awesome game back then. But yeah, I may pick it up when it's on the cheap, just to have a blast on, you know, something you can just slap on and
take the second exit.
Use a PlayStation or Xbox controller or something to play with.
Exit now.
Yeah, I've got F1 2018, F1 2019. I just don't find myself playing it. I don't know why. And I certainly haven't. I think the majority of the thing is I don't have the time, especially to do a full race. 25%, maybe 50%. And it's just having the time to invest because you have to go through the practice, the qualifying, and all of that. I mean, I know you can skip it all, but yeah. And the early games were harder to work with this wheel. You had to tweak the coding to get it to work properly. The new one's not so bad, but and again, if they ever bring out F1 2019 that supports triple screens, everything, be in heaven. Yeah, the Need for Speed games were good. They've kind of... Yeah, I've got no interest in the new Need for Speeds at the moment. They're getting... I don't know, if it's just lost the fun aspect to it. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just getting old. I haven't even touched Dakar, going off the reviews. Nearly every person I've seen playing that game has just been, like, mediocre with it. Everybody was a bit meh. It's just another driving game that doesn't do anything particularly well. I might be wrong, but that's the impression I got. So I was like, well, I can't see one person raving about it, so I'm not going to pick it up.
Keep right.
Have you tried Air Car? No, not even heard of that one. What's that then? A flying thing, I'm guessing, perchance? Trouble. Slow down.
At the roundabout, take the first exit. Exit now.
Why am I not surprised by the sound of that? I'm guessing you're like flying all over the shop and doing stuff that you wouldn't normally be doing. You thought you saw me playing it in VR? Nah, I haven't done anything like that in VR. Futuristic landscape. Maybe an Elite Dangerous, because you can land on moons and that. I think well, yeah, Blade Runner sounds about right. Trouble. I didn't even see a red light then, I was too busy reading chat. It's free, alright then. I'm sure I can have a look at that if it's on Steam. I've never even heard anybody play it, so first I've heard of it.
turn left. Keep right, and then turn right. Turn right.
Oh, I knew you were going to stop then, you git.
Keep right.
Weird economic. You know what?
The roundabout. Take the third exit.
You know what it probably is? It's probably the update frequency. It's not hitting. Well,
Exit now.
in the S, it needs to hit what, 80 hertz in it? So you need to do 80 FPS smooth without doing reprojection all the time. Although reprojection in the Oculus isn't that bad. But in something like a Vive, ugh. Yeah, if you don't hit 90 in the Vive,
Get ready to
or
turn
close to it, it is going to be pushing you to Vomit City, you know?
Turn right.
Well, you can get software that you can... What's it called? Oh, jeez, what do I use? There's a piece of software you get that shows you your FPS in the game itself, in your display, so you just look down and you'll see it displayed. It's handy having that, just so you can double check.
Second exit.
Because if you are pushing the graphics and it starts dipping too much, then that could be one of the reasons. I'm not saying it is, but unless you check your FPS, you don't really know. You know, and I struggle, and I am using a 1080 Ti, so I remember I'm using a Vive, which is a lower resolution display than an Oculus Rift S, so I would still check it if I were you, because it can vary greatly, even though that may look like simple graphics. If it's not coded well.
Keep left, and then turn left.
4 hours 53 remaining.
Turn left. Keep left.
Ah, great. Oh, that's that gear change. Yeah, that's ED is Elite Dangerous. It's me in the wrong gear. That wasn't playing a game called Air Car, because one, I've never heard of it until now. And my shifter's come loose. Ooh, we can't go anywhere until I've tightened it up. Eek, eek, eek. And this is why I keep a screwdriver right next to my shifter, because it comes loose every so often. Now, Elite Dangerous in VR, yeah, absolutely. Very difficult to kind of play in VR unless you've got a controller that gives you loads of buttons that you can remember off the top of your head. Because trying to hit a key on a keyboard with VR strapped to your head is kind of difficult. But the game itself lends itself well to VR because, you know, floating around in space in a spaceship, asteroids, ships flying around, you know, space stations to fly in and out of, and God knows what. A great game. And the sense of scale. And that was one of the first things that hit me. I went from a single screen playing Elite Dangerous to triple screen playing Elite Dangerous. And again, Elite Dangerous doesn't support triple screens properly, so it is stretched. But it still looks good on triple screens. And you think, wow, that looks big. But then when you put a VR headset on and you park yourself next to the sun and you're looking around and you think, I really do feel small next to that sun. That thing is absolutely huge. And it's just the scale. I mean, it's so impressive. The same with the first time I docked inside a space station using VR, and it was like, wow, this thing's absolutely massive. It's so different from playing on a monitor because everything's compacted onto a 27-inch screen in front of you. But when you're in VR and you've got the whole thing to look around, it's like, Jesus. Uh-oh, what's going on here? Come on, people, move. Yes, the one thing... I haven't tried the climbing ones, I've heard of them though. But the sense of scale in VR is always good. But again, you can get it wrong in VR. You know, if you set your headset up wrong and the scale's wrong, or sometimes the game might have the scale wrong. And then it can be a bit off-putting when the scale is wrong. I used to get that problem in the first Dirt Rally in VR. The scale of the cars used to be slightly small on the Vive. But there were ways around that by tweaking how you set up your Vive.
Continue straight on.
Yeah, you see those mad videos, don't you, where people are who put on VR headset doing those things and they're kind of falling over in real life because they've lost their balance. No, my luck, that'll probably be me, so yeah, I won't be trying that anytime soon.
Go straight on.
Where did he come from? Must have been parked at lights. 3 hours, 38 remaining. Man, this job. How many hours this job? It was nearly 40 hours, wasn't it? My damage on it got 4%. Where did I get the extra percent from? Well, my goods are fine though, so I'm going to get full payout as long as I don't get any damage to the goods. So we're okay so far. Why has that been smacking the wall with your controller? I've done it a few times. Especially when I was playing Doom VR and I got a mirror on the wall over there which I cover with a towel. Because otherwise it reflects the lighthouse around. And I ended up smacking the mirror once. I thought I broke the mirror. Who cares about the controller? But everything, it survived. I've got a TV in the corner. I'm always worried I'm going to punch the TV. How do you find the battery covers on the Oculus S controllers? I always find the covers for the batteries coming off of my hand. It was like, get on! Didn't happen too often, but it was enough to be frustrating. I gotta admit, for the price, the Rift S is a good unit. And for what you get some decent controllers. You get a headset that's relatively tidy. The only thing I was disappointed with was the brightness. I'm so used to the Vive, which is so bright. When I went to the Oculus, it was like, oh my god, it was like somebody had put a filter in front of my eyes and everything was dimmed down a little bit too much for my liking. Had it been a slightly brighter display, I think I may have been tempted to keep it, but I ended up sending it back because, one, the brightness of the display wasn't to my taste, and two, I was getting problems with the screen blanking out. So I was like, I don't think it was ready. Maybe things are different now, obviously, because it's been a while. When I bought it, they were running through patches to try and stop the display going blank, and to me I was like, well, I'm not prepared to keep a head unit where the display goes blank every so often. And hope that a patch is released to fix it. It was like, yeah, no thanks.
At the roundabout, take the third exit. Exit now.
Well, don't get me wrong, I mean, I find the Vive too bright. But I think the thing for me is the Rift S was the complete opposite end of the scale. It was as if somebody had turned it down far too much for me, and there was no way to increase the brightness. Actually, that's something I saw the other day. I could have sworn that I saw that in the new Steam VR software that there is now a brightness control. I'll have to double check that, see if that's true. We're 50 minutes away, we're nearly there. Ooh, it's been a long one. We're in the middle of a forest somewhere and it's going to be pitch black by the time we arrive. We've got 20 hours remaining. We could stop. It's not early enough to stop though, because otherwise we'll be pitch black in the morning. You gotta love it, innit? There's like YouTubers telling me your stream is producing too high. We recommend that you stream at 4,500k. It's like, yeah, that's not gonna go far, is it? Hello there, Merrick. How you doing? I'll be the wrong gear. We're going to be stuck coming up this hill, aren't we? I'm very well, thank you. It's a shame we're stuck behind this guy. Tempted to try and overtake, because there doesn't seem to be much traffic. We go for it. more twisties coming up. Slow it down. That's a little too fast. I'm kind of hoping we can find a rest stop before we get there, but I don't think that's going to happen. And now we're catching up with a coach. What the hell's Project Talk? Man, that must be missing loads of games. Never even heard of it. Jasper, no I don't. I do have a Twitch channel, but I don't use it for broadcasting at the moment. Depending on if anything becomes of YouTube and this copper stuff, then I may move over to Twitch, but at this time I am going to remain here until otherwise notified. I think that's probably the best way I can put it. I could use restream and, you know, stream to multiple, but it's like, I just can't be bothered. I'd rather just stream to one so everybody knows where I am. And let's face it, it's a bit like, you know, you go shopping, you go to certain shops because they've got certain things. So, you know, if you enjoy what I do, then you'll come to this channel or whatever channel I'm broadcasting on. I'd like to think, you know.
Exit now.
Who knows, maybe one day. I downloaded Restream to look into it, and then I was like, you know what, I can't be bothered. It's just the way I am sometimes.
Keep right.
Yeah, maybe so, but at the end of the day, I'm just here just to stream. You know, it's not
Go
a
straight on.
not a job for me, and you know, who knows, maybe in the future that would change. If it became a life for me, then fair enough, but it's not, so
Keep right.
it's just
then
for me
exit
to
right.
have a bit of fun, and if people want to tag along and watch, then they're more than welcome to, you know.
Exit right.
Ooh, look, see, there is a rest stop. We'll grab that now, because then we'll have a bit of daylight for the last 27 minutes. Way! Where's the entrance, though? Fence, fence, fence. No fence. Ooh, that's a bumpy road. Gonna let me sleep? It's not letting me sleep, is it? I hate it when it does that. There we go. You gotta be in bang in the right position. It is indeed. It's very scenic. Right, let's get this sorted, shall we? We've got another 19 kilometers, so not long now. We'll get this dropped off. We'll have a bit of daylight. We've got 9 hours remaining to do the whole job.
And then exit right.
But we should be there in 19 minutes.
Exit right. Turn right.
That's a big green coach. What a terrible colour. Ugh. Smooth.
Go straight on.
I think I've wrecked my gearbox. Can't get a smooth gear change.
Get ready to turn right. Turn right.
Alright, should be down here on the left somewhere.
Get ready to turn left.
It's after this bus, is it?
Turn left. You have arrived at your destination. Your route guidance is now finished.
Warren! Finally got there. The 67,000. That gets us back up to 256,000. We can. Yeah, okay. So we do truck dealer, Volvo. El Cheapo truck purchase. Santa does the final. I don't know about final. Hold on, did I purchase that? Oh, hold on. Crap. Garage manager. Upgrade. How much is that going to cost? 88,000. I can buy another truck at least. Can't buy another one because I haven't got enough cash. Great. I can get somebody working in that truck straight away who's got a lot to choose from. If we look at garage managers, we've got 4 garages, nearly all full. My very first garage is working at 100%, the others are only 30 and 35. I need to check driver progress. Set to balanced at the moment. You're on long distance and you don't need to be, so you can go back to balanced. Go to balanced. Balanced. You're a new driver, you can go to long distance. Go to long. I tend to like ranking them up on long distance first. Once they've hit top of long distance, then change them to balance to equal out all the rest then. Right, we are set. There we are. So, well, it's coming up to 11:30 at night for me, so I'm going to leave it there. For those who have stuck around and watched, thanks very much. Hope you all will have a good Christmas. If you've enjoyed the video, give it the old thumbs up, the like, subscribe for more. There will be more content. I do plan on trying to come back on tomorrow at some point, but it'll probably be later in the evening if I do manage to get back on. What I'll be playing, I don't know, probably ETS because it's nice and easy, just to chill and relax. Nothing too crazy. Then again, maybe a bit of Dirt Rally because maybe I need a bit of excitement in my life. Who knows? Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. And have a good Christmas. Take care. Bye for now.